welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaby Creators. Today we have Jayantika Ganguly with us. Jayantika is a corporate lawyer turned into unconventional legal educator. She is currently working as a director for corporate courses and career services with LawSikho, which is also the leading online legal education company in India. For over 12 years, she has worked with top law firms like Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, Khaitan Co and J. Sagar and Associates, before switching to the field of practical legal education. Besides her career in law, Jayantika is also an internationally published author with several books to her name. Her latest book, A Continuum of Sherlock Holmes, is published by MX Publishing London, and it has also won the Best Mystery, Thriller, and Suspense Book Author of the Year 2021 by NMCBI, which is Navi Mumbai Chamber of Business and Industries, in association with Great Human University. Of course, I mean, we need to talk about the other books as well. So without any further ado, let me just introduce you to the woman herself. Hello, Jayantika. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We're really excited to know about your other achievements as well. But what actually, kind of inspired you to get into the legal space? Like how your journey has been as a legal professional?
Well, my entry into law was kind of accidental. So, so after class 12th, everybody is rushing to give all sorts of entrance exams and everything. So I was very confused at that time. So I ended up giving medical exams, engineering ones, then NIFT, then law, of course. What ended up happening was that in the legal entrance exam, I scored national rank of 3. And then my family decided that, okay, clearly she has aptitude in this field. So let's just put her in that. So that's how I ended up in law school. And then, of course, once you've spent 5 years learning something, that is the field that you want to work in.
That's quite something. That's quite an accident. Okay, so Jayantika, you have shifted from being a hardcore corporate lawyer, as I've also mentioned, the firms that you've worked with, to now a legal ed tech. So
Right.
tell us what kind of work are you doing these days?
So these days, actually, it's very, very different from what I was doing in the law firms. Now, in LawSikho, I design courses primarily, and I chalk out the career roadmaps for our learners. And when I say learners, it's not just law students. We literally cover the spectrum from first year law school students to 65-year-old professionals who are now retired. So, we have learners who have been working for longer than I have been alive, but it's so much fun. So I head the course design team, which falls under content. And I also head the Office of Career Services, which has 3 teams under it. So effectively, I have 4 teams and a bunch of excellent people working with me. So I'll briefly take you through what I do here. So first is, of course, the course design team. Now, this is where we conceptualize and design the courses and the content. So this is all practical stuff. Our exercises are mini simulations of transactions or matters. And the idea is that a learner should take away at least one marketable skill after every class. So we have industry experts coming in and taking concept sessions. So all of it is very, very practical because the theory we are already learning in law school, right? So we don't need to take that. We have excellent professors in our country already doing that work. So we build on that. What we do is upskilling. Now, the second team is the mentorship team. Now, this is when a learner enters our system, they are assigned a mentor who will draw a career roadmap for them based on what their goal is. Now, somebody might want to work in a law firm, somebody might want to be a litigator. So, based on that goal, we chalk out a career roadmap for them. And then the mentor will keep tabs on the learner throughout their journey. The mentor will also give out career related tasks, write an article, make this post, do this bit of research, and then also monitor the progress of the learner. Then the third team is the placements team. Now, this is the team that will collaborate with recruiters and find internships and job opportunities for our learners. Now, our recruiters are mostly law firms and companies and chambers of practicing advocates. Now, the placement team will understand the requirements of a recruiter, map the skill sets required with the pool of our learners, and send them a profile, the profiles of the shortlisted candidates. Now, this saves a lot of time and energy on the recruiter side as well. And of course, our learners get success. So happy, happy, win-win all over. Then the fourth team is the portfolio team. Now, this is the team that helps our learners build and boost their CV based on their career goals. So they will work closely with the mentorship and the placement team. And a big part of this team's work is actually helping our learners write quality legal articles and get them published. And this is the team that also looks after Super Lawyer. So that's again a website you may have heard of it. Then, so basically, in a nutshell, what we do is bridge the gap between what is taught in law school, what we learned in law school, in fact, and what is required for real life work. So we teach practical legal skills, and there are people like me who have worked in the industry and then moved here because we know what is required to do that job, and we help our learners get that. And then, of course, we help them find internships and jobs. So the whole package is here. So that is what I do these days.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jayantika. This was quite elaborative and helpful. Just one thing, as you've already, emphasized, and you've kind of, give us, you've kind of already give us an elaborative, version of what exactly do you do. And you've also kind of, in a way, thrown light on the benefits. Like, it's very uh, evident that what are the benefits that the law students or the lawyers can derive from the kind of work you do. If you can be a bit more specific for our viewers on the benefits part. And my follow-up question to your answer is that, have you seen any like shifts in the market trends these days in terms of skill sets that is required for lawyers?
Definitely, definitely. We are moving towards higher specializations, more competition. It's all fast paced, right? Law is a very, very dynamic creature. So as we have new laws, tech laws, restructuring, M&A, this is the in thing right now, right? And these are very, very specialized fields. So you need to have these skills, and this is not taught in law school, right? So a technology lawyer, the kind of contracts they have to do, the kind of work they need to do, it's very, very, very specific, right? And there are very, very few people doing it as well. So, but we have the early mover advantage there. Our students have the early mover advantage there. So all of us know that, what we learn in college and what we need to do in real life work, it's a little bit different. We need to build on what we learn in college, of course, but then the practical aspect only comes when we start working. And this is exactly what we try to give our learners. I've mentioned this before, right? We have mini simulations in our exercises. We have no theoretical questions at all because they already know that. They've learned it in law school. So what we teach is how to apply the things to real life situations. It's actually a very, very symbiotic relationship. Now, part of this comes from our own life experience. Now, most of us would have learned through trial and error, or a kind senior who takes pity on their juniors and shows them the ropes. This happened with me. I had a very kind senior who did that. But not everyone is fortunate to have that kind senior, right? And this is exactly why my part of the job is to make sure that none of my learners are at a loss when they enter a workplace. This helps them stand out, and their success is that much faster. And our learners' success is our success. I can give you an example from about 10 days ago. Now, one of our learners, he's a student of the M&A course. We sent his profile to a top law firm, and the M&A partner of that firm was interviewing him. So the partner actually asked him to draft a clause in that interview. The boy did that. 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes later, he was offered a long-term internship with a very, very generous stipend. Now, why was he able to draft this clause? Why was he able to understand the nuance of that transaction and draft that clause? because we taught him that. Normally, only associates who have actually worked in a law firm would be able to draft that. But here we have a law student who is able to do that. Doesn't get more specialized, doesn't get better than that, right?
Right.
So when we design the courses, this is the idea behind it. In fact, some of our courses are also recognized by MEPSC under the Skill India program. I can share a link if you would like to take a look at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So basically, you're also, I'll not say also, but basically you are providing the practical, knowledge to people, because it kind of, like if I am there, if I want to bag internship or something like that, I would join a law firm. I would learn there under, associates, senior associates or partners. I mean, that would take me like a lot of time. But I just want to know, like, there must be some difference in, sorry if I'm taking a lot of your time, just for my understanding, as I'm a layman, if I am working in a law firm, so what is kind of different here? Like, if I'm doing an internship with a law firm, but I am kind of going first, like first I'm coming to you and then I'm going to a law firm, so what is the difference? Like, what add-on is there that I will not get to learn in a law firm that I'm getting here?
You already know what you need to do in a law firm, right? So an internship, from a student's perspective, an internship is a place to learn, right?
Right.
However, from the organization's perspective,
Okay.
they have to get something in return, right? Some work has to come out of that, right? So an intern who is able to perform, and PPOs, I'm sure you've heard of pre-placement offers, right? Very, very popular in law firms. How do you get a PPO? You do a good job at an internship.
Right.
Now, a law student who needs to be taught everything, who needs to be spoon-fed, who doesn't know anything, and a law student who is able to give you a drafted agreement, or who can work on a transaction at the level of an associate, who do you think is going to get that PPO?
I mean, of course, the person who has been to you first. Right. No, absolutely. It makes more sense now. I'm really sorry that I took a lot of your time with that.
No. I'm always happy to talk about it. This is like, I'm very, very passionate about my work these days. I'm sure it shows through, right?
It shows, it sounds, yes, absolutely, Jayantika. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this elaborative explanation about the kind of work that you're doing. It's commendable, because I don't know if I could, like, I had never known about this if I was not talking to you. So this kind of is very, very important. And if we can do something about it, if we can be of any assistance, then why not? Coming to my next question here, as we have seen that pandemic has kind of changed a lot of things in every industry. Technology is taking over us, and it has kind of played in our favor as well. Now, we never thought that this is going to play a very important part in legal space, but it is. So do you think that this is like remote proceedings I'm talking about, the hybrid mode? Do you think this is like sustainable?
Oh, definitely. I would say it's definitely sustainable, and it is something which is here to stay. And it's not just courts, actually. In fact, I'll tell you, LawSikho has been a remote organization for a very long time, even before the pandemic. So I work fully remotely. All my team members are spread out, not just across India, but also across the world. And in terms of market trends, even not just the courts, but there are plenty of virtual opportunities for lawyers these days. We have sent a good number of our learners for virtual internships, not just in India, even in other countries. We've placed people in Dubai and Malaysia, US, lots of places. We just placed one of our learners as a legal associate in a law firm in Qatar. So she's working remotely from India, but she's an associate in an international law firm in Doha. We have seen a huge growth in legal freelancing as well. So many of our learners actually start taking up these projects. We have a freelancing team, so they are also very, very efficient. So as our students start learning the course itself, they also start taking up small legal freelancing projects, most of which is based overseas, and they start earning hefty dollars. So most of the time, by the time their course is over, they have earned back not just what they paid us, but sometimes even 5x 10x of that. So it's definitely here to stay.
Lovely. Thank you so much for answering that, Jayantika. Now, as we are on that topic, so what are the mostly common used tools for you, like in this era of legal technology?
Well, as someone in legal ed tech, technology is literally a lifeline. So,
Absolutely.
so it's, I mentioned earlier, we work fully remotely. So our work is entirely done on our laptops and phones. So of course, we use the usual G Suite and MS Office and Zoom and Google Meet and stuff.
Right.
But being legal ed tech, we
Right.
have an LMS platform to host our content. We use
Mhm.
an assignment portal. Now, the assignment portal is something we are very, very proud of. It's developed in-house by our tech team, and it's a phenomenal piece of software.
So that is something which is like a LawSikho thing completely, like
Yes.
the
Yes.
in-house thing. All right.
And then, of course, we have Discord, we have Zendesk, we have CMS, we have a whole range of software tools. In fact, if you ask me for a full list, I'll have to call the head of my tech team, the head of my ops team, the head of my marketing team.
Wow.
So tons and tons of software tools and services for pretty much everything we do, because
I
that is our modus operandi, right?
I actually asked you the wrong question. I'm really sorry. Okay, coming to like having talked about technology, pandemic, having talked about LawSikho in an elaborative manner, uh, like you're doing a lot of things, as you've already mentioned that you're working remotely, but I'm sure time management is is something that is very, very important. And when we say time, we all also know that it's money in any profession, and in legal, it's most of all. How do you ensure that you make the most of your time?
Well, I have to say I rely very, very, very heavily on Google Calendar and planners. Now, I'll show you. I'm sitting with these two planners and
Absolutely.
Google Calendars. Now, I have 4 teams to manage, right? So if I don't organize things properly for
Mhm.
my own brain, I'll be completely lost. It's going to be a chaos.
Right.
So I like to make to-do lists. I divide my time across the week for various tasks.
Mhm.
Now, of course, there are some things that we have to do which can be planned in advance, and some things you can't plan. So the list helps. The one thing that I insist on is a weekly meeting with all my team members, including all the interns. Now, the little bit of human touch, because everybody's spread across different cities, different countries, even if we don't see them even once a week, then it becomes a little disconnected, right? So that, even if it's across the screen on Google Meet or Zoom, that is one thing. And also, it is necessary for me as the manager to find out who is doing what on a weekly basis and to keep tabs of them, right? Because we all have targets. There has to be a proper allocation of work. So it can't be that somebody is working 300 hours a month and somebody else is working just 50 hours a month. That kind of disparity would not be a good thing, right? So if I had to boil it down, I would say I spend about 2 to 2.5 days in team management, implementation, strategies, etc., and the rest of the time in core tasks, ideas, designing, planning, and stuff. uh, yeah, a little bit of the good thing that we have is we have a daily good news bulletin. Now, this is internal completely. We don't send it out of LawSikho. This is where we share one learner success story or a testimonial that they would have given to one of our team members internally every day. And we recognize the work of that individual team member. Now, that's my happy moment of the day. So,
That's a really good idea. I'm sure after watching this, I mean, I am going to suggest this in my organization of
Oh,
Quad.
you're more welcome to. It's very, very good fun. You know,
It's very motivating. It sounds very motivating. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jayantika. I'm already jealous of you that you're working remotely and I'm working from office. So I'll just conclude this interview now. But no, it was jokes apart. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully, I'm looking forward to some more conversations like these on some other training topics in the legal space. For our viewers, if you like this chat with Jayantika, please like and share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to Clickaway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do, and you have more coming from industry legal leaders like Jayantika Ganguly. This is Bharti for LexTalk signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.